Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? KMB the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Collision, December 9th, 2023. Kevin, Tony, Nigel, all on commentary, and we start this bad boy off with the Continental Classic Blue League, Claudio Castagnoli versus Eddie Kingston. Great match. Hard-hitting, just, you can feel every punch, every hit, every slam. It was a good match, and these two hate each other, and it makes for a good wrestling match, and they almost went all the way to the time limit and everything like that. But Eddie Kingston got the win. Very, very surprising, man. And I love when they do the intros now for this show, and then they get on Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's like, "Oh, I get it. It's fight night. Yeah, it was fight night. Let's get out there. Turn on the music, you know." But great match, man. I thought Claudio was gonna beat Eddie, but Eddie beat Claudio, and I was like, oh, so he's kind of still alive, because if he lost this one, he'd be out. So we get a John Moxley promo. He's going to face Swerve Strickland next week, and I'm so excited about that. Renee's with Hook. Yuta interrupts, and he says, hey, you know, he goes, FTW rules, you know, let's go. And Hook's like, let's go, you know. Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Martinez with Diamante on the outside. Great match, too. Fuck yeah, dude. Like, Willow Nightingale got the win. And it doesn't look like she's about to get the win, but out of nowhere, boom, got a good roll-up. 1, 2, 3. They start attacking Willow. And here comes Chris Statlander. She got chains around her fist. She's like, come on, bitches, let's go. Let's go. No, great match. I really enjoyed this one. I'm a big fan of Willow. I think Willow Nightingale can be an even bigger star if they pushed her a little bit harder. That's just my opinion. We got Renee backstage with Daddy Magic and Cool Hand and Jake, and they're like his hat or whatnot, you know. And here comes Anna Jay and Saraya, Ruby, and Cool Hand and her are flirting with each other. She's wearing his shirt, and I don't get this angle. Like, I don't know where we're going with it. You know what I mean? I don't know where we're going with it whatsoever. So Swerve cuts a promo on John. He's like, hey, man, me and you next week. And I'm just like, Texas, baby. Whoo, man, it's going to be a good match. All right, Willie Mack versus Wardlow. Wardlow wins. What are we doing with Wardlow? Like, what makes me want to give a shit about Wardlow? Because at this moment, nothing. He just comes in, power bombs, you know, and leaves him there, and the ref calls it. And I don't even understand that anymore. Like, the first few times when he did like 10 power bombs to one person, yeah. You know, call the match. You know, this person's not getting up. You got Willie Mack once, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, he's out. He's knocked out. Boom. Call the match. Wardlow walks off. And I'm like, okay, well, and? That's the big question with Wardlow at the end of every fucking thing. I'm like, and? You know, yeah, you had that little confrontation with the MJF in the back. Yeah, you know, we know that you hate MJF and you want to rip his fucking head off. But I'm waiting for the moment of like, oh, I can't wait to see Wardlow take on MJF, because I don't. I just don't care. And that's frustrating, because I'm like, I want to enjoy Wardlow. I think Wardlow's cool, but with what's going on right now after he came back and whatnot, and all these smash matches, squash gangs, you know, it's like, and what's next? You know, we'll see where they go on with this. We have the FTR and House of Black package, you know, they're beefing and everything. Kenny Omega versus Ethan Page, Canadian versus Canadian. Who is the best Canadian? And Kenny Omega wins. But this match was sweet. Oh man, Ethan Page had it in him. But I like what happened at the end of this match. After Kenny Omega wins, he's walking out. You know, Tony Nese is watching on, because Ethan and Tony are going to have a big I Quit match at Ring of Honor Final Battle. But here comes Big Bill, and he attacks Kenny. And, you know, just taking out another one of the Golden Jets. Ethan Page comes for the help and what save what he was, you know. But my biggest complaint of this match wasn't the match itself. No. So it's not the match itself. The match was awesome. These two took each other to the limit. My problem was Tony or whoever's on the fucking feed or whatnot pushing these commercials. They don't need to blast 20 fucking like things that AEW is doing ads for themselves. They're like, you know, where are they going to be next? You can buy tickets now. Because at the key point of this match at the end, they just started popping these dates up, and I was just like getting distracted. I was like, stop it. Fucking stop it. Fucking stop. I was like, I'm trying to watch a match. I am trying to engage in this match with Kenny Omega and Ethan Page because it's awesome so far, but you put in these ads on the bottom. Stop it. God. That's my only complaint on that match. Commander and Penta versus Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. Commander and Penta for the win. I don't expect Daddy Magic and Cool Hand going on getting a run where they're winning every single match. So I just kind of looked at it, I was like, okay, we're just gonna have fun with this, I guess. You know. Lexi's with CJ. Perry, her client, Andrade's tonight. He has a big match with Bryan Danielson. Here comes Miro. A little bit of misogynistic here, where he's like, my father catch bull, I guess, and the wife got it, and you clean my house, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know if these are the sort of things that we should, like, do with this. Because I don't understand, and I don't care, but at the same time, the way he's talking to her, I'm like, I know this is heel stuff, but I already did not like Miro to begin with, you know, ever since he's been in AEW. And now I'm just like, I really don't like Miro. Maybe he did his job, right? No, I just don't get it. And then after this tournament happens, he will take on Andrade. I'm just like, all right. Julia and Abaddon package. You know, Julia showed up in Abaddon, and those two will have a match for the TBS Championship. Keith Lee and Shane Taylor package. They got a big match at Final Battle. Swerve and Mox package, and now to the main event, the Continental Classic, the Blue League, Andrade El Idolo versus Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon himself. Hell of a match. I mean, but at the same time, you know, he's been rocking his eye patch because of his surgery and whatnot, and where he got hurt and whatnot. And I don't know, there's parts where I was just like, oh my God, stop hitting him there. And of course, it could be planned. You know, that could be the story we're trying to tell. You know, Andrade got the win too. And I was just the whole time I was like, oh God, quit hitting him there. Then he ripped the mask off, and then he was bleeding. He got a little cut above his eye. Reports say that he's fine. The spot was planned, but it's just like, dude, you're playing with your own life. Like, I know for a fact WWE wouldn't have let you even wrestle like that, especially with an injury like that. And just because it's dangerous, anything can go. And, you know, I'm already seeing the division of fans when they're like, yeah, well, they're not that pussy WWE stuff. This is the real stuff. I'm like, but these are still people at the end of the day, and we need to make sure that, you know, they are here to entertain us. And they are here. We give them money to entertain us, yes, but at the same time, also too, they're human. I don't want to see Bryan go down or Bryan lose his eyesight, or, you know, even though if the spot was planned or not, I don't think it's a good idea for someone that has an injury to wrestle, even with the boss knowing he has a fucking injury. It's, you know, the whole time I was cringing. I was like, oh, fuck, you know, especially when Andrade, like, putting his eye, you know, and maybe that's just what they wanted. But for me, as a wrestling fan, it came across of, like, I was like, fucking stop this match. Just stop this match, you know. Like, just, I don't want Bryan to get hurt. That's all I want. And maybe that's what they wanted, the storytelling, but from a point of just it being cringe, because of the fact that I'm like, you know, the match was awesome. Hard-hitting punches. Bryan ain't going to give up for nothing. But also, too, I was just like, God, those times I was like, man, I just want to fast forward through this. I don't want to see him get hit in the eye again. I really don't. So, but Bryan Danielson lost to Andrade. Here comes Wheeler Yuta, Claudio. Andrade and Claudio get into it a little bit. But, Afterwards, I saw some footage of the doctors checking on him and stuff like that. But if it was a planned spot or not, I just think it's a bad idea. I thought it was a bad, like, he was supposed to be out till the end of the year, but then they announced this Continental Classic, and Brian's like, I'm in it, So they're throwing anything and everything they can at the wall and hoping it sticks. And I don't want them to throw Bryan Danielson at the wall until he falls apart. That's 100% right there. So a great show. Overall, I give it a 4 out of 5. Great matches tonight, great lineup, especially going up against Deadline, which was phenomenal. Drop those comments below, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share with your grandma, share with the bum down at Walmart. Tell me what you thought. Well, what do you think about Bryan Danielson taking the risk of wrestling like that? Is it a work? Is it not a work? Because it's working for me, man. And it's making me not want to watch Bryan go through the pain and suffering of him possibly with that eye and stuff like that. So drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Share with your grandma, share with the bum down at Walmart. I am KNB, the Sexy Ninja. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet NWP logo created by Penta X. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Chance?
Ruby! Oh, I knew she was going to be. I told you she was going to be here, Anna. This is exactly
Renee,
what No, Renee, sorry, baby. You have to leave. All right, I'm about to be really unladylike.
You know what?